So you're good. So all right. Just stay there. Ben will take care of you. Ori, I think we're on. Welcome to a special show tonight, and that we've talked about a working partnership in the pursuit of justice. This is a special broadcast by myself, my office, Lieutenant Governor Dan McKee, and we have a special guest here from one of our leaders in Black Lives Matter, and just to kind of set up the format of the show, we're talking to Brother Gary about calming things down and how we can do that and what needs to be done, and also, but we're talking, but not miss the point that there's some racial discrimination, racial hate crimes that have happened in our country recently, and we need to address that. So my comments would be, when we'll bring Brother Gary on, is look, there's a serious issue here right now, and we need to join together in a way that we've never done before, right on the heels of this COVID.
I'm having a little technical difficulties.
You're on, Gary. Thank you. I'll just kind of introduce you, but I was just saying that we've been impacted by the COVID-19 virus, and the Black community has been disproportionately impacted by that. And now we have this national issue that where a police officer murdered a Black man right in front of everybody's eyes. So we have to address that as well. And I said today, Gary, when we met with your group outside of City Hall, that my belief is that there's one question that we need to ask, and we all need to answer it, whether it's myself or yourself, every police officer in the entire country needs to answer this question with no ands, buts, or ifs, no equivocation. Answer the question yes or no. Don't tell me about that all lives matter. Of course they do. Don't tell me that people who are protesting, that are violating the law, need to be.
It's okay, honey.
Of course they do.
Yeah.
What question? Do Black lives matter? Yes or no? Answer that question.
I'm having problems with this.
So, Gary, can you hear me?
My mic is mute.
Unmute it, Gary. We'll get it right, because we're going to make sure that this broadcast happens. And like I said, my words are not as important as Gary's is right now. What we will see is that Gary, Brother Gary, him and the Black Lives Matter Rhode Island put on a peaceful demonstration protest on Saturday, and Black Lives Matter, which is not the same as Black Lives Rhode Island, was involved in the activities that happened last night. And so we need to keep it local, and we need to work with our local leaders. And Brother Gary is one of our local leaders. So we want to make sure that that we're doing everything we can to calm the waters. And we need to make sure that that we provide the respect that those who were involved in the peaceful demonstration, the peaceful protest on Saturday, that they're respected, that they're listened to, and they become partners with our state leader. And today we delivered the message to the governor that they would like to talk specifically to the governor. And hopefully that's going to happen. Talk to Stephen Pryor, the Commerce Secretary, and also talk to Dan Connors, and deliver the message to the governor that they would really like to talk to our state leader. And at this time, we should be doing everything we possibly can to calm the waters and to reduce the activity from last night and increase the activity that we had on Saturday, and continue this discussion in the state of Rhode Island to create this. Our state should be this place where everybody feels as though they're safe. And right now they're not. They don't feel as though they're safe. And so we need to make sure that we do everything we can to make that happen. So again, I'm not the messenger, and I want to make sure that you understand that. We're having trouble getting Brother Gary on right now, and we're gonna keep on trying to get him on right now. And let me try to call him up. A little unusual that we do this, but let me try to call him up. We're gonna show some video of Saturday's event, and then I had the opportunity to meet with the Rhode Island Black Lives Matters leaders in today, and did a tour through Providence, and we'll put some photos up on that as well. But let me just call Gary up and see where he is. This is we got to make sure that this works. So let me call him up. Oh, Gary's back. Gary, are you back with us?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
I can. That's perfect. Thank you so much.
Okay.
I've been kind of filling space, but I think what I'm saying is important. All the things that you and I have been talking about.
Yeah.
I wanted to first highlight you, Gary, as being a leader in the Black community, and a spokesperson that listen in Black Lives Matters, Rhode Island, and what I'd like to do is maybe you could just introduce yourself, Gary, and then I want Ben to go to the tape of some footage of Saturday's event. But before we go there, Gary, let's just talk about how we got to where we are right now. We know that there's been issues in the Black community for quite some time. That it's our history, right? It's our country's history. So it's generational. It's over centuries, and it's showing its ugly head right now very publicly. So introduce yourself. We'll catch up with the fact that you weren't on to get on earlier, right away, and then I want to transition Ben to what Gary did and his group did on Saturday, and we want to make sure that when we talk about another event on Friday, Gary, that we want to make sure you have all the tools, all the speakers, all the microphones, and have the governor with you as you address the state of Rhode Island. So the mic's yours. Set it up for us. We'll go to that tape talking about what you did and how the leadership that you provided with that Black Rhode Island provided on Saturday. Ben, see if we can run the tape while Gary's speaking, and he can tell us about what happened at that event. Thousands of people, right, Gary?
A lot of people. Yes, Dan. It was a groundbreaking records that in the state of Rhode Island, what we brought to the state, and it was an effort to the citizens and the people of Rhode Island came out in solidarity to support Black Lives Rhode Island, Black Lives Matter Rhode Island, and it was a great day. It was a great turnout. We had roughly to like almost 9,000. They said 9 and some change. I don't know roughly the numbers. I could be wrong, but we had a peaceful rally, and I'm really proud. And again, this has never been done from an African-American male or female in the state of Rhode Island to that magnitude. And, we must change, the narrative of the story in Rhode Island as far as, economic development, financial literacy. These are the things that we need an opportunity for our governor to really understand and pinpoint that we have a crisis in America. And there's so many things that we need to talk about, far as how could we have race relations better. We want to be one of the first states to demonstrate and exercise the partnership of working in the community. And once again, that I demonstrated a peaceful rally across the country. We were the first ones to do it in solidarity, of George Floyd. So these are the things that we need to understand, that no one came. I wasn't. I mean, when we got there, it was amazing because I never seen so many Black and white people and Latinos and his different races and different ethnic groups. It was amazing. So my thing was that I was looking for the governor, after that was said and done, to really step up and say, "Hey, brother Gary," not that I needed a pat on my back, but just a recognition, because again, our issues are pushed to the side, and I don't want to. I want to give Gina Ramonda a chance to really exercise, her free liberal, to understand that we're trying to have a partnership with the state of Rhode Island in its history, because it's not been a great, partnership, as you know, dealing with government officials. It's been a song and a dance, throughout the history of that time. So I'm here to, ask Gina Ramonda to meet us halfway, if we can have that opportunity to, to close the gap.
Yeah. So, and when we met today, and I want to talk right after this, I want to talk what led. We need to talk about what led that, why we had the protest.
Right,
The
right.
happened in Minneapolis, the murder that happened there, and every in the nation's eyes of a black man, what brought us there. But first, like I want to just quickly reflect about the meeting we had in front of City Hall in Providence today. And there was one of the, and I'm lacking the names, Gary, but one individual said that they were looking for a partnership. Right, here we are with, downtown, where we did a tour. But in the meeting that we had initially before we did the tour, Gary, it was very clear to me, as I was saying, what can I do to help? What do you need right now? And the word partnership came up, and it was very emotional. But the young lady that said, we're looking for a partnership, is elaborate on that a little bit, Gary. What does a partnership mean to you, as you can see the pictures of us walking through the airport?
Amazing, amazing.
Yeah,
It was
that
amazing. It was the
problem.
fact, right? It was the fact that these local businesses reaching out to us, and they want a partnership with Black Lives Matter of Rhode Island. And we want to make structurally, change in our communities. We're not looking for any handouts. We want to rebuild and really start a fresh relationship with the African Americans, because we've been out of the political pole for a while as well. The education system, we've been out of the economic growth, the stimulus. We've been out of the whole ball game, actually, and even in the Republican and Democratic Party, we've been absent. And unfortunately, it has to do with leadership of Rhode Island. And there's a great history behind, the supremacy here. And unfortunately, our voices are not being heard. It's always this, the song and the dance. They push the African Americans away for so long now, that we must stand up and really fight this system that's been suppressing us for so long, for so many years. So I'm trying to build and establish a foundation of a black hub, a black creation for business, you know uh, education. And these are the things that's so imperative to our community. And if we are about this community, as I demonstrated a peaceful rally. I wish there would be more reps and more invitations that they could allow us to have this personal relationship with.
Yeah, and so that idea of a partnership, yeah,
Hmm.
like when I asked the friends that were there today that were supporting Black
Yep.
Lives Matter Rhode Island,
Yep.
um, and supporting your work and your fellow supporters in terms of that peaceful protest on Saturday.
Right.
Uh, the, the list is not. The list is very reasonable. You're looking
Yeah.
to have a conversation, direct conversation with the leader of the state, and not feel as though that you want to be respected for the leadership that you're bringing to the table, and the people that are associated with you to
Right.
create protest, but be very firm, right, Gary, in terms of the fact that there needs to be change, and
Right.
uh,
Right.
we use this as an opportunity. So, what?
Right.
Tell Just explain a little bit again. It might be repetitive, but I think it's worth repeating. What is
No.
how
By any means.
what do we need to do as a state, uh, to calm the waters and still make sure that we are um, that we're paying attention to the importance of the issues that you said a peaceful rally on. So what lay out what you believe we need to do to calm the waters so that we reduce or eliminate the potential of more destructive behavior and get more constructive behavior.
Right. So, in a nutshell, as you know, I'm one of the leaders out in New England, and I have some type of privy information as anybody else that do their homework. My thing is this, Dan, where that we are the leaders of this community, and my thing is that we hold our city to our state to a high standard. So we don't want to put people in danger from the outside people that's trying to protest. So, for one, I think what I would like to see happen is, for the governor to really acknowledge us, for one, for two, to move forward and have, you know, put together a plan of action, right? And really stick by it and be consistent with it. So they know that one of the reasons that we're out of the race is because of unity. And right now we're building a black hub for unity in our state right now as we speak. I'm speaking with some team leaders and also some community leaders, and we're working on a plan as we speak. I spoke to one of the aides at the mayor's office. Shondell, she's amazing down there at the mayor's office, and we spoke earlier, and she was downtown with us. We're trying to elevate the people and uplift them. And one of the reasons why we were doing this march was into solidarity of what happened from the killing that happened. It was overwhelming to watch someone take a man's life like if it was nothing on video, and now the world is burning, and now the tables where it's a negative look, but I truly understand, but I'm not understanding the part where my state is not showing me that type of respect and solidarity. So I'm kind of puzzled, and I'm still keeping my composure. But I spoke to Hugh Clemens, and I don't understand. These things take time to happen, but we don't have that much time left. We really don't have that much time because when you pass the power down, you know it has to be where people are automatically are connecting the dots, right? We have to connect the dots, and we're leaving a trace in a history. We're making history in the states of Rhode Island to change for a better place, because I want my kids to have a proper education. I want them to know about African American culture. I want them to know about everything has to do with African American. I mean everything. So that means that I'm not going to hide my blackness for nobody. We are going to educate Rhode Island about having a true life partner with Black Lives Matter of Rhode Island.
Yeah,
So
and that partnership, Gary, is so important. But right now, the task at hand, and we're gonna spend some time before we get off the air about the long-term strategy. I
yeah,
know that wanting to wake everybody up in terms of the way that we're, the level of public education, in particular into the Black community, which has failed so miserably for so long, and yet
right.
we kind of put up with it. And we need to have an equally 10,000 people show up on behalf of our young kids to make sure that we change the way that we provide education. This is all about the economy long term, but short term right now, I think what's on people's mind is the comparison between what we just saw on the video, the work we did to do the protest on Saturday, and then the comparison that happened last night, as you said, some out of state agitators, and they agitated a lot of people who live in Rhode Island to behave poorly. So you're talking about a demonstration, a protest on Friday. Tell us
Yeah.
what you want that to look like, because
Well,
that's
that's the
the
thing. That's the
that's the
thing, Dan.
positive thing we're working on right now.
Right. Well, that's the thing right now. I don't think we're going to do a. I don't think we're going to do a protest this Friday. Only because, in in the midst of things, I haven't contacted the governor yet. So I'm going to put that on hold, and we're not going to have the protest Friday. I want to hear from the administration first, and we can move forward to make something happen. And again, my my protest is all about peace and unity and bringing things together. And we're trying to make a change right now.
So there's going to be a demonstration or protest from outside Black Lives Matter, outside not Black Lives Matter Rhode Island, right, on the Friday. Damn it, that connection is awful. All right, I'm sorry about that. Gary's back again. We'll definitely try to finish this conversation up in a way that Gary gets the last word, and we learn something. What my point here is, let's listen. Let's not dismiss. Let's listen and learn and enact. That's what we need to do right now. So Gary represents a core group of people who have something to say, and we need to listen, and then we need to act. And right now, we're pressed at a very difficult point where we're either going to be the leaders and do it right and constructive, or we're going to be invaded in a certain way with an outside groups that's going to impact the way that the people in the state of Rhode Island act. We got a choice right now. Let's talk to Gary. The governor needs to talk to Gary. We need to make sure that happens. As a state, we want to reverse what happened last night. We want to go back to a peaceful protest that is really sending the message that Gary just said. So Gary, tell me what we need to do to make sure that we give every option, every possibility that we go back to a strategy that you started and you provided the leadership for on Saturday, instead of what we saw last night, which is not good for our state. So Gary, you're going to come in and out, so I don't know exactly how we're going to end this, but we're going to try to get Gary on one more time. I apologize for it, but I think you're hearing what I'm hearing. Gary is a spokesperson. He was thoroughly involved in that activity on Saturday, and he wants to make sure that happens. But we need to listen, and we need to talk. And Gary's saying he would like to get a phone call from the state leader, leader of the state. This is important. We need to do it. Gary, tell us again, what do we need to do
I
so
think
the group
I
that we
think
met with today will calm the waters and stand with us and with you in true partnership?
you see what happens is that we as Americans, and we've been holding back this race issue for a very long time. And what happens is that when there's the old blood to the new blood to the circulation of the heart of Rhode Island, I think that we have to get the idea. And this is not a shot to Gina Raimondo, because I really like her. I think she's doing a tremendous job in the state house, and I applaud her for many years, and I know her personally, and she's a wonderful person. So all I'm saying is that we have to have better relations. We should be working on a plan of action immediately, because we have outsiders coming here Friday to do another demonstration. So if me and her can get together and make this change, have the partnership, and make an absolute change, and sincerity is very imperative about speaking about African Americans, issues. We must understand what we're dealing with in America right now, and America is under siege right now as we speak. Every person of color is is dealing with different issues. You know, when you look at the state of Rhode Island, it is really in harm's way as far as the economic, and it's so poorly structurally done that we are a lot out of the loop, the economic loop. We are out of the Democratic Party loop. We're out of everything. We're out of Black Hawk. Period. We don't have any financial gain, any financial backing from anyone right now, and we need a plan with the governor to make her understand that we're trying to get the set down with her so we can make some great changes in our community. You know, and
And Gary, let me just jump in because this is something that I've been hopping on over the last week plus. This federal money that's come into the state,
right,
$1.25 billion.
right,
I've been saying that those dollars, some of those dollars should be allocated to our small businesses who have been shut down during the
right,
fire. And
but
also, we have the opportunity to invest in neighborhoods and into communities that have been impacted the most by the COVID-19. So when you
right,
talk about resources that can be put into the Black community, we're
right,
sitting on federal money
right,
that if we actually listed out the things that we need to start investing in, we can do that because you have been impacted. The Black community in the state of Rhode Island and other communities have been
right,
disproportionately impacted by the COVID
right.
19. That federal money belongs in those neighborhoods. That's what.
Absolutely, absolutely. There's no question about it. And this is what I'm saying, where it become reprehensible, where it's time for change. I really can't take too much more of the lip service of my people, and we have so much catching up to do with African Americans. I think, and I'm not saying Gina Raimondo, but we should be ashamed of ourselves that we have to ask for money. And with this COVID thing that happened, and when you're holding 35 to 30 million dollars, and you know what happens, and you give the money to construction sites, it's amazing what we could actually do and utilize that money in our communities. This is overwhelming, and it's heart-wrenching to hear these words and these numbers, that it makes no sense that we're out of the loop again. And it's
Yeah. So
it's
Gary,
senseless.
let me just tell so that we, that work, construction work. I
Yeah,
had said on my show today.
yeah,
Uh, the minority portion of that contract was waived, and we didn't use at least 10% into the minority contractors.
right,
That took
and
out of the community of the minority community when we need it,
right,
and also that there's 1.25 billion. This
right.
is 35 million is a fraction of that. If we're talking about,
No,
we
no,
have the
I
ability
get
right
it.
now to invest in in the Black community in a way that we
Right.
never have, and we should be doing it.
Right, because this is what I was saying about the action plan. And see, what happens is that we get used to holding something that's dear to us. From the elected officials to all the way down to the school monitor. We should be treated equally. You understand? So when you try to kind of like show the world that we are invincible people, and I'm not saying Gina Raimondo, I'm saying people in general, specifically white Americans, that feel that way about African Americans. And it's not about black or white, it's about what's right or wrong. So that's why my message is positive, where I want to restore certain relations with white Americans. I want to restore things of trust in the community with policing. I want to trust, the school departments. I want to trust, the healthcare in my community. I want to know that my daughter is going to get a full ride, to college, not just based on her skin, but her education, and that's the thing where, we've been pushing for education for a long time. Harold Metz, Anastasia Williams, all those reps, Marcy Rangland. These people are phenomenal what they do. They are phenomenal. They're experts what they do. The Harold Metz. These guys, listen, they are amazing. The state reps, they hold the title, and they're doing a tremendous job. They need help. They need relief. They need someone that they can back on that resource. And what's that resource? Revenue. So we don't push this issue right now, it's never going to happen. We're not going to be a voice. We're going to be very angry. You're going to have very bitter, angry partners in this lifetime. So this can no longer, attend. There's never been a black official, where he was recognized or she was recognized to that degree to have, to make those moves where they're very impactful.
Yeah. So Gary, on the education, which I want to get back involved in a serious way, uh, and certainly stand up and would work with anyone that you just mentioned.
Right.
But we also have to be very honest about the fact that most of the families think they're sending their kids to good schools. Most
Right.
of the community believe that their kids are reading and doing math and reading on grade level.
Right.
We
Right.
need to find leadership that actually is honest. Let's be honest with the family, and then let's be honest with the fact that there are schools that are teaching at higher levels in the state, or the public schools that are teaching at higher levels than district schools, and that's why the city of Providence school system got taken over, and that is years and years and years of um, racial discrimination.
Of
So
course.
we need to work on that, and I'm looking forward to doing that. The immediacy to me right now is about what's going to happen over the next 72 hours in Rhode Island. You
Right.
spelled out. Let me just clarify, because I want to make sure that people are watching this. Black Lives America Rhode Island is different than Black Lives Matter. And Black Lives Matter is the one that's planning to come in and do a protest, not Black Lives Matter of Rhode Island, correct?
Right. And they're not even the original Black Lives Matter at all anyway, but it's just that the tactics that, some of the negative uh protesters are using these methods to really disrupt, the city. And this is what I was saying. If this would have never happened, I truly believe that this would have never happened if we had that connection. If we had that connection, I made the call to Alorza, the mayor of Providence, and I told him we must have a sit down or a press conference with the governor. And I spoke to Hugh Clemmings, and these guys I don't know. I like them, but they must let go of that power. They have to let it go. I don't have, we don't, we should not wave and really brush that off, right? Because I'm a man of color and I'm passionate about my community. I am passionate about my community. I love my community. So, if I bring roughly to almost 10,000 people to a peaceful rally, let us get our day. We're not asking for a lot. We're really not. We're really not. And let us move in a great direction.
Yeah, and let us listen, right, Gary, brother Gary. Let us listen. Um, I think that we tend to speak too much, and I'm trying to listen to you here today. When we met outside of City Hall, and then we did a tour of Providence, walk through
Yeah.
Providence streets.
Yeah.
It's important to listen to you, Gary, and that's what I said on the radio today on WPRO. We need to listen. I think that the only speaking that people who are outside the black community should be doing is just answering that question that I asked before you got on the air.
Right. To
Answer
be
yes
really.
or no. Yes, yes, yes or no. Do Black Lives matter to you? Yes or no? Don't equivocate.
That's
Don't try to say, oh, well, those people who did that bad work, bad behavior last night should be.
That's right.
Uh,
That's
of course,
right.
they should, but that's not the question at hand. The question at hand is, do Black Lives matter? Answer it. Yes or no. If you're out
Right.
there, put a yes up, put a no up. But we
Right.
need to be honest about it, right, Gary?
Right. And that's the thing. That's the thing where, when you build in communities and you build in these bridges, we must understand each other's cultures, right? Because, I understand a lot of things about, Gina Ramonda and half of her staff. I know she's a well-educated woman. She's very savvy in business. I think she's done a tremendous job in the state house. Very intelligent. and I really mean that. That's a genuine statement. And I think that she can really, seize the moment where she can bridge the gap with African Americans and minority groups of people to have a relationship, like truly a real relationship. So I'm looking forward and really, making these changes in the community. But, in the next 72 hours, there's going to be a tidal wave of different events, because there's that communication gap where we don't want outsiders to come to our state and really start really tearing our state up just from a misunderstanding. So I think we can do that.
Yeah,
So
small businesses today, Gary, that the last thing they need right now is to, they've been shut down for so long. They're worried about putting food on their tables as well, and then
right,
that's not what you're looking for. And
right,
what you're calling for is not unreasonable. I think that last word for you. We're going to close this out. We've had a good 45 minutes here, and
yeah.
people. What do you want to say to the people listening that are actually going to relook at this broadcast?
First, I want to say to my whole staff of Black Lives Matter Rhode Island, I want to say I'm so proud of you guys. You guys are excellent. I love you guys. We have work to do to change the whole community. I'm so, you know, um, looking forward to working with the governor and making change in the state of Rhode Island and Black Lives Matter in Rhode Island.
Thank you, Gary, and stay in touch with me, and we'll keep on working together. And then anybody who's listening to this show that wants to help Gary do what he just said and create a peaceful strategy, but firm and very much what is needed right now is some strong leadership that just doesn't let this just all go away. We need to make sure that we're on it continually, Gary. So thank you for being here tonight. People who want to participate, they certainly can contact Gary, brother Gary, and they also can call our office. We have direct access into Gary and his whole team. 222-2371. Call us and then ask that question. Ask that question. Don't let them give. Just ask them yes or no. And then once
Right,
we determine who the yeses are, we move with them. And the people who are still in that camp that, geez, they got a problem with the black community, then we got to find them, isolate them, and convince as many as we can to get into the yes column. And Gary, when we get the crowd that you talked about, that you brought together, those are people who are in the yes column. And the overall majority of the state of Rhode Island is in that column. They do believe that Black Lives Matter. And what we need to do is we need to organize them so that we have consistent work over the next several years
right,
that elevates your community, the black community, in a way that you need and you're calling for. Thank you.
right. Dan, can I say something real quick?
Yes.
I just want to say this. In Rhode Island, I see they play a huge game here, and this disproportion of people. I don't know if it's people of power or people, of change, if they really want change. So I never seen a person of color with that type of power where, they don't want to, they want to discredit, African American males. This the image of us, and it's broadly showing that, like, let's diminish him. There's not like so much, like there's no pushing for African American males, like the image of us. We need more of that, right? We need more images, positive images of African American males that's doing things. And they muzzled us for so long here in the state of Rhode Island. They play each other on each other. They put them on, this one can't say this one's not educated enough, this one says that. It's a lot of that going on in Rhode Island. So I want to put a stop to that. I want to bring the division gap and really, really suffocate any type of stereotypes of doubt of education. Bringing forward with healthcare. I want to bring everything, economic, economy, balanced stimulants. I want to bring that to our table. So, as a black hub and a black connection with state of Rhode Island, and
Thanks,
that's all I want to say.
thanks, Gary. And it's putting a plan together. And right now, the plan is to reach out to Black Lives Matter in Rhode Island and calm orders. Now,
Right. And
right,
go to the
Barry?
Facebook. The
And
Facebook.
you and
Yeah.
I, others are going to partner together, and we're going to listen, and we're going to help, and we're going to make good things happen. And you're one of those leaders, and I really appreciate your leadership. I know
Thank you, Dan.
you have your heart in it, and let's see what we can do, Gary, over the next few hours, and let's hope that the governor does call and sit down and you collectively put a plan together. And any way that I can participate, I'm more than happy to. Whether I am
Absolutely.
on,
Absolutely.
that doesn't
Listen,
matter. Let's get it
right.
done.
Right. Like I said, Dan, you're amazing. I want to say that we trust you, and we trust your leadership. We trust your vision, and we have never had that type of relationship with any politician to that degree. And I just want to say that I appreciate you, giving me this platform to really look forward and having a future for my community, for the Black Hub. So I appreciate you, an effort to start a new hub for the African Americans and people of color here, and we're going to build something here, from politics to the economy. We want in the race with everybody else, every nationality. We want to be in a race with them, you know, and it's unbelievable because that we can change in the state of Rhode Island, from bills, to laws, to business. These opportunities, they must be fixed. You know, we must challenge everything about Rhode Island. We must challenge it
Well, that's what
because
we'll do. We'll do that together, and let's work together, to make sure that, the task at hand right now is
yeah,
calm borders, okay, and make sure that peaceful protests happen, and they happen in a real strong way to deliver the message that you just gave so well, Gary. So, brother Gary, God bless you and thank you, and let's keep on working together.
you too, Dan. Thank you, and God bless you and your family and everybody on the Dan McKee, Lieutenant Governor. You're amazing. I appreciate you. We do. We appreciate you.
Well, we're not done yet, Gary. We're going to keep
No,
on going. We're going to build that partnership that young lady asked for today outside of City Hall in Providence. They want a true partnership. We're going to build it.
absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Dan, for giving me the opportunity.
You got it. Thanks, Gary.
God bless.
God bless you.